Hey, what's up, guys? So, today we're going to try to pick out the best undergrad major for pre physical therapy students to go for in undergrad before you start applying to PT schools. There are 16 majors and it's a bracket challenge. So, what we're going to try to do is pick out the better major each round and see which one ends up at the top after 16 teams collide. So here we go, round one. We got accounting versus chemistry. I feel like accounting should be more useful to have knowledge in, because there are tons of PT clinics that are managed by physical therapists, and you can definitely provide some value if you have background in accounting and you're a PT, so you know how clinics work. And if you can manage their budget, or manage your own budget for your own clinic, and not even for your clinic, everybody has to manage their own budgets at some point eventually, right? So I think accounting is a very valuable knowledge to have, and if you major in it, I think that's even better. And then here we got chemistry. I think the chemistry courses that I learned and the concepts that I learned in those courses aren't really being used in PT school as much. The only time I can really think the concepts are being utilized is when we're learning about meds and pH stuff. But for me, the only time that speaking of pH, the only time that I really saw in-depth analysis of how chemistry is used in this wasn't even a PT setting. This was at a gym that I used to work in as a fitness attendant, and the vendors, they come in with a pH solution to pretty much clean the mats, because all gyms have mats, right? And so they take this really seriously with the pH numbers and what kind of solution it is, and they try out different things. Anyways, kind of sidetracked there a little bit, but I'm gonna pick accounting with this one. All right, we got next round: sociology versus political science. These are pretty similar majors, right? I mean, the courses that you might take when you want to major in these degrees, I feel like there's a bit of overlap, but sociology, we're basically learning about what's wrong with our world and what's wrong with us when we interact with each other. And I feel like the problems have gotten worse and worse after the pandemic, and it'll never be the same, which is kind of depressing, but I guess that's just how it is. So it'd be interesting to can you guys imagine taking a course in sociology where they talk about how COVID-19 has changed our world? That'd be pretty interesting. But so study of people and how our society interacts with another society. And so I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any concepts in PT school that utilizes the stuff that we learn in sociology classes, because I feel like everyone takes at least one socio course as an undergrad for gen ed. And then we got political science. There's actually a good amount of opportunities in PT where you can seek out political positions. APTA, for example, we had to do the APTA Day on the Hill, where we walked around the Capitol in Annapolis, and we walked around with I almost said launderers, not money launderers, lobbyists, and we were basically telling the Senate and the House members of Maryland about our bills. So long story short, a lot of positions that you can partake in if you want to go down that route in PT, and there's a lot of work that can be done to improve our profession. So I'm gonna go with political science here. All right, next round we got education versus we got kinesiology. This is a good matchup because education, the parents, if you go into PT, the parents will love you because you'll not only manage the physical disabilities that a pediatric patient might have, but you'll also kind of help them grow, or at least you'll have the concepts that you can utilize to, benefit them while they're in PT sessions with you. And you don't see these patients just once or twice and you're done. You see these patients throughout a month. Of course, it depends on the patients, but from my experience observing in a peds PT clinic, you get to see the same patients throughout a month. So definitely a lot of good tools that you can learn in education major versus kinesiology. So I was a kines major in college, and I definitely felt like there was a good amount of courses where you learn important concepts that are crucial in PT school, like biomechanics and exercise physiology. But it's also true that you'll be okay without getting a kines degree if that's something that you're worried about. So if you're worried, let's just say you're a freshman or a sophomore in college, and you're like, well, shouldn't I have a background in movement science or exercise science if I want to go to PT school? You'll do perfectly fine in PT school even if you don't have a kines degree. I would actually recommend getting another degree that's completely different, like accounting, for example, where you can kind of create that synergy effect with PT if they are combined, because that's rare. That's gonna provide value in our capitalism, economy system. So everybody does kinesiology, and but I'm gonna pick kinesiology. All right. Electrical engineering versus stats. Stats, I only took one stats course my undergrad year, and I only went to 4 classes. The syllabus week and 3 times when I had to take the exam. Because I just felt like I don't know if it's probably me, but I just felt like the professor wasn't really engaging in teaching the students the concepts and material that is in an engaging way. And I just felt like I could study this at home or outside of class by myself, and that's what I did, and so I was fine. But stats, it's important. It's definitely important. A lot of research articles that we have to read in PT school, and I kind of wish that I kept those notes, the notes that I took in Stats 100, because they will probably provide some value in all the research articles that we have to read in PT school, and there's a lot. So there's stats. And then electrical engineering, I was thinking about this the other day when we were learning about eStim, electrical stimulation devices, where you basically attach the things. I can't remember the word right now, but they basically stimulate your muscle fibers and help you move in a certain way. And so they're being used a lot in a lot of patient population, the electrical stimulation devices. And I think if you have a background in electrical engineering, that's awesome, because then you can go into manufacturing these devices, or working with orthotists or other close professions where they work closely with PTs. So you'll be a dual threat. Of course, if you get an electrical engineering degree, I guess why would you want to go to PT school? Because you'll be in more debt and you don't make as much money. But I guess we're just assuming that every student here is a pre-physical therapy student. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with electrical engineering. All right, next round. This is the 5th matchup, round of 16. We got history versus public health. Whoa, this is a tough one. History, you can become the king of geriatrics because I don't know if this is a stereotype, but working with geriatric population, if you have knowledge in history, you can conquer geriatric PT because you'll have a lot to talk about and with the patients, and that just creates that bond between patient and PT. And history itself is a very interesting topic. I like watching movies based on true stories, based on historical events. If you guys have seen Ford versus Ferrari, Matt Damon, Christian Bale, it just came out a couple years ago, I think, but I love that movie. And then what I like to do is after watching the movie, I go on YouTube and I see how it aligns with the actual event. And yeah, so anyways, I sidetracked there a little bit again, but if you guys like movies and based on true events, check out that movie. And then we got public health here. Kinesiology was under the Department of Public Health, so technically I guess I took some courses that public health majors take. But here's the thing though, you can see with the pandemic going on, people don't like to listen. People don't even like to listen about wearing masks in public, so it's gonna be super difficult to get a message across where the message would be beneficial to the public, and that's what it's all about, right? Public health. And I guess if you have the skills to do so by majoring in public health, that could be beneficial. So king of geriatric PT versus telling people to do certain things that they don't want to do, like exercise, right? Which skill is more beneficial to? I'm going to go with public health. I think that's more relevant. All right, psychology versus exercise phys. Exercise physiology, I don't know if this is a major. I mean, we definitely had to take courses in exercise physiology. But I just remember this one lab, we didn't have any participants for our labs or for our research, so we had to do the participation. And it was just hard because we were just measuring our RPE and how it correlates to our max heart rate and VO2 max. So we just had to bike a lot and kept going. So that's just one experience that comes to my mind. Exercise physiology is a cool topic though. There's definitely a lot that you can learn from taking this course or majoring in this. Definitely a lot of concepts that gets utilized in PT school, especially if you're working with athletes and you can take that approach from another angle, not just from the biomechanical alignment kind of perspective. You can kind of go from in out, if that makes sense. And then I guess psychology, I feel like with psychology it's just a lot of overcomplication. That might just be my bias, but they like to overcomplicate things, I think, with psychology majors. A lot of memorization, definitely interesting topic, but from my experience, the concepts don't really get utilized a lot in PT, like the hard memorization kind of concepts. Of course, this is the basis of everything: business, economics, healthcare, but I'm just talking in terms of practicality. So let's go with exercise physiology. Bio versus physics. These are fundamental majors, really, or courses for science. For bio, man, I really didn't like this microscope thing. I never was able to find what I was looking for. All I saw was my eyelashes, because it's so hard. This was so hard to find things with, and the funny thing is, I look at it and I'm looking for it. I can't find anything, and time's running out with bio labs because we have a lot of times, right? Because these things are expensive. You can't have it for every table or whatever. So I was just like, oh, time's running out. Hey, to my lab partner, I'll be like, hey, I think I found something. You want to take a look? Even though I never found anything. And my lab partner comes in. She's like, yeah, I see it too. And I'm like, what do you see? I don't see anything. So I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know what I was looking at. They were just long. Biolabs were long. That's just what I remember, and a lot of memorization. But it was fun. Physics. Physics is interesting. This is important for PT school. Biomechanics, a lot of fundamental concepts come from physics formulas. And speaking of formulas, it was awesome that we didn't have to memorize everything, because we can bring that formula sheet. So it's really all about applying what you already know to problems, which is something that I like better than just straight up memorization like bio. I'm going to go with physics, although I think bio is more relevant. Okay, another bioengineering versus mechanical engineering. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. We've been learning a lot about orthotics recently. So whether that's AFOs, ankle foot orthotics, KAFOs, knee, hip, and then there's spinal orthotics for scoliosis patients and spina bifida patients, and many more. But I think mechanical engineering, if you have a background in this field and if you want to go into orthotics and have a doctorate in PT, I think that's awesome, because there's so much you can do with exoskeletons and orthotics, because then you're a dual threat, right? You have a background in mechanical engineering, so you know how to design equipment, and with a doctorate in PT, you'll know how to use that equipment to best help the patient or best promote performance, even for athletes. So I think that's very valuable. Mechanical engineering, very valuable. And then bioengineering, I took one bioengineering course in college. It was a lot of studying of proteins, very micro stuff that I didn't really care for, although I think people who like it. So I'm going to go with mechanical engineering here. Okay, so now this is round of 8, and we got 4 more matchups in round of 8. 3 more, sorry. This is the first one. We got kines versus electrical engineering. Here's the thing, though. I know this is for pre-physical therapy students, but what if they decide that they want to do something else after they graduate, right? I hope you don't, but what if you decide midway through PT school that PT is something that you don't want to do? Then I don't know what you're going to use kinesiology degree for, right? I mean, that's just the hard truth. I hope that's not the case, but what are you going to do with a kinesiology degree, with a bachelor degree? It's definitely something that it's not, you don't have as much options as you would if you major in electrical engineering. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking ahead to a little bit here. Direct impact, of course, kinesiology, but like I said, you can thrive in PT school without having a kines degree. So this is a tough one, because in PT school and college, if you're a pre-PT student, all you're thinking about is how can I set myself up for success when the time comes to apply to PT schools. And so this is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with kines, I guess. Be more realistic. Alright, here we go. Public health versus mechanical engineering. This is another tough one. Are you gonna go to school for 4 years to help learn or learn how to make people listen to you, versus are you gonna go to school and learn how to craft things and engineer things so you can help people? I don't know, it sounds biased a little bit, but that's just what it is, I guess, for me. I also know with public health, I think they do a lot of campaigns in PT, like hashtag choose PT. That was a big one. I saw a lot of people put in their Facebook profile a couple of years ago. So that was pretty impressive. And then the whole fight against opioid addiction and choosing movement and exercise over simple solutions like taking opioids after surgery or with chronic illness, that's all public health. So this is definitely important. And also, I know a lot of PT schools offer public health master's degree too, like a dual degree. I think our school does too. But I think if we're thinking more ahead, but this is also pretty good too. Let's be realistic again, I guess. Public health. Okay, exercise physiology versus political science. I think this is an easy one. I think I'll go with exercise phys. But the thing about exercise phys is there's a lot of research. So you might spend a lot of time in lab looking at data and collecting data and working with participants, if that's something that you like. Personally, for me, looking at it's a very rigid environment. I feel like because you have to be consistent with every participant. You have to do everything same, and there's not much dynamic flow going on there. So exercise physiology is more rigid than what a lot of people think, but it is important and it is very relevant to PT, and you'll definitely get to work with parameters like heart rate, RPE, and VO2 max in PT school. So let's go with exercise phys, although political science is fun too. Alright, physics versus accounting. This is the last matchup of round of 8. I took 2 physics class in college, physics 1 and physics 2. Like I said before, I liked it. This is a good matchup though, because accounting is definitely useful if you want to create your own niche in finance for physical therapists, right? So working with PTs on how to create budgets and manage them, PTs that own their own clinic, or even just regular people, because we all, like I said before, we all have to budget. Let's go with accounting. Okay, now we got exercise physiology versus accounting, round of 4. So this is the semifinals, right? I'm gonna go with accounting. Accounting is definitely more useful, I think, long term. Okay, so we got kinesiology and public health in our semifinals. Matchup 2. Let's see. Public health, there's a lot of overlap here too. This is a tough one. I think with kinesiology, you'll learn concepts that you can still learn in PT school with a little more effort. You can be just as good as kines majors in kinesiology in PT school, because you'll learn those concepts again. But public health, you don't really learn the same thing in PT school. And like I said, it's more important to be dynamic as a PT. So let's go with public health. Kind of surprised I picked that one too, but here we go. This is the final, the grand final. Public health versus accounting. I think you have more power and authority as an accounting major because you're in the driver's seat if you're working with someone, because Like I said, public health, you're getting people to listen to you. You're like, come on guys, we gotta choose exercise over opioids because that's good for you. Versus accounting, people come to you. People come to you for advice and consulting. So they pay you to give you advice. Versus public health, they don't really pay you to give advice. They actually, most of the time, the general public doesn't really like hearing what to do. So are you gonna live as a beta, or are you gonna live as an alpha? I would rather live as an alpha. Okay, so accounting 1. Alright, so that was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was just for fun, honestly. A lot of opinion-based thoughts here, not all based on scientific truth. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll film more bracket challenges because I like doing these. This is fun, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.